What would you do if a signer showed up clearly intoxicated? Or if a family member kept interrupting the appointment and pressuring the signer? These aren't just what ifs, they're real situations that notaries face every day. I'm Jennifer Cooper with JKC Mobile Notary, and this is another episode of Notary 101, where we break down the real world skills notaries need to serve with confidence. Today, I'm sharing some of the unexpected moments I've faced and how to handle them calmly, legally, and professionally. So let's jump in. Let's start with a common one. The signer refuses to sign mid appointment. Okay. It's happened to me during a loan signing. We're halfway through the stack, and the signer suddenly said, "I don't feel right about this. I'm not signing anything else." Now, that might send your stomach into a little flip, but here's what you do. Pretty simple. Number one, stay calm. Assure them that they are absolutely allowed to stop. Do not persuade them. That crosses the line into unauthorized practice of law. Document everything in your notary journal: time, location, what documents there were that were signed, and when the appointment was halted. If it's a loan signing, you'll want to notify the signing service or escrow rep right away. But remember, your role is to witness and notarize signatures willingly, given, not to close deals. Next up, a signer shows up under the influence. Maybe it's the smell of alcohol, slurred speech, or they just can't follow what's going on. It's awkward, but you really cannot proceed. You are legally required to determine that the signer is alert and aware. In these moments, I say something to the effect of, "I'm not able to complete the notarization today. We'll really need to reschedule when the signer is feeling better." There's no confrontation here. It's just professionalism. Log it in your journal and walk away knowing you made the right call. Family interference can be tricky. You might be notarizing a power of attorney and an adult child is answering every question for the signer. Stop that signing and redirect, saying something like, "Before I move forward, I'll need to speak directly with the signer alone." You must confirm willingness and understanding without outside pressure. Even if the family pushes back, hold your ground. You're there to protect the signer's autonomy and your commission. You show up and your signer hands you an expired license or an ID that's not allowed in your state. Here's your rule: if it's not valid, don't proceed. Don't bend the rules, even if the signer insists. Politely decline and offer to reschedule. You can say something like, "Unfortunately, this ID doesn't meet the legal requirements of the state. I'll be happy to return once you have a valid one." Always know your state accepted forms of ID. If credible witnesses are allowed in your area, that could be an option, but only if all criteria are met. And remember, write all of this down in your journal. Okay, let's say you arrive and they want to sign on the front steps in a hot car or on a wobbly patio table. I have been there, so stay kind but firm, and then maybe ask, "Would it be okay if we move to a more stable surface so I can complete the signing properly?" Always bring a lap desk and a clipboard, but remember, if it's unsafe or unprofessional, it's really okay to reschedule. You don't need to risk your safety or the integrity of the notarization just to be easygoing. Some appointments carry heavy emotions, like notarizing documents for a loved one in hospice or preparing an advance directive. You may walk into a home full of grief, tension, or quiet sadness. Be steady, be gentle, but don't get pulled into the emotional storm. And that's not easy, but confirm the signer's awareness, allow them time, avoid legal advice or emotional commentary, maintain focus and professionalism. Your calm presence can mean the world, but your role is to notarize, not counsel. I will tell you that this is a lesson I learned very early in my commission, and it was the hardest thing I had ever done, sitting in that room with that man who had just lost his wife to COVID. Um, and he cried through the entire appointment. It was very difficult not to cry with him. So it's a lesson I learned early and the hard way, and it totally changed how I proceed with all notarizations from that point on. So make sure you do your best, to maintain your professionalism, gentleness for sure, care for sure. Don't be cold, but do your best to not join the sadness and the crying because it will make this appointment a little harder to complete. Unexpected situations will happen, but being prepared is what separates the overwhelmed from the confident. Take a breath, trust your training, set your boundaries, and document everything. If you found this video helpful, give it a like, subscribe for more Notary 101 content, and check the description for free resources and support to grow your notary business. You've got this, and I'll see you in the next Notary 101 video next week. Bye-bye.